Ray Fisher is on the Cruz show, Power 106. Cyborg, Justice League, all in. My guy, I saw the shirt for a second. I thought it said Bong Life.
No.
And I was like, yo.
That's Borg Life. Borg.
Life.
Get that or in there.
Borg
in there.
Life. Yo,
Yeah.
Fish, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I don't
know if anybody calls you Fish, but I just did, and I'm going to run with it.
People call me all types of things, man, but luckily they're mostly good, so
yeah,
I got no complaints.
What are fans calling you?
They're calling me Ray Borg right now.
Ray Borg,
Ray Borg, yeah.
right?
They do. They
You're
taking
okay with that?
I'm okay. Yeah, they're taking everybody's name and sort of mixed it into their character's name, so they'll call like Ben Affleck, Batfleck.
Oh, right,
They call
there
Jason
it is.
Momoa, Aqua Momoa, that kind of thing.
Got it.
So I'm Ray Borg.
You know, I must announce Ray Fisher is here, and he's the healthiest man in the room.
That's not
Sure is.
That's not true.
Take a look around.
Come on. I hear you guys got the challenge going on.
We got a
in
weight
here.
loss challenge going on, and Lechero and I are trying to drop some pounds, and it's a challenge, but I believe it's creating a brotherhood here with this guy because we both have struggled with weight all of our lives, let's be honest, and we're trying to be better, and we're trying to be healthier for the people around us, and
listen,
for us as well.
Just trying is the first step, brother.
Yeah,
it's the first step.
You had to get jacked up for the movie, right?
I did.
Here's my problem with that, Ray. Here's my issue.
Go ahead.
Okay, they
I'm
say
listening.
he had to get jacked up to look like a civilian. Civilians look like myself and Lechero.
Yes.
They don't look like you, sir. That's my problem.
Well, the thing is, for this movie, because I was about 193 pounds. Like, I'm a slimmer guy by nature, right? So I had to, like, eat everything I could get my hands on.
You've never been chubby? You weren't a chubby kid, a chubby baby?
I mean, once I hit that growth spurt in high school, I mean, I wasn't necessarily chubby. And I definitely wasn't chubby in New York City grinding, not being able to feed myself, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it was
dude.
like...
A lot of actors, when they're first starting out, they're very thin and they look fit, but it's because they can't eat.
It's because we can't afford
They don't
to feed
have money
ourselves.
to eat.
Absolutely not. No,
seriously,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, no. But for me, it was that kind of situation where even with that being in play, I've had buddies, I have friends who was like, look, I got peanut butter, you got bread, so we got sandwiches.
Let's figure it out.
I'm serious. Like riding the subway in New York City.
Broke.
I've been that broke, bro. I've been that broke.
Did you grow up broke?
I didn't grow up broke. I mean, I didn't feel broke, so that's a testament to my mom.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's
So
right. See,
like,
I grew up knowing and feeling broke.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did. I'm glad my parents showed me the ugly truth.
It humbles you. It
Yes,
humbles
it
you
did.
in a good way.
Yes, it did.
And my thing is, people say, "Look, how are you staying level with everything?" And I'm like, "Because I've had time to feel what it's like. I've had 12 years to just sort of grind it out and gain an appreciation just for the little things."
When your phone isn't ringing and there's no food in your belly, the thought of giving up does cross your mind.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the one time I think I got closest to actually stopping this was before I even got started, when I was in school going to conservatory in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother, who was like my number one, she ended up passing away that year back in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
I told my mom, I said, listen, I was like, I think I want to come home and just be with the family. And she told me, she was like, listen, there's nothing here for you. Like, just keep going it. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
And she was right. You know what I mean? Everybody's still in New Jersey. Anytime I want to go back, everybody's right there.
Yeah.
And it feels like I've never left.
Yeah,
So,
when I first got started in radio, I know this interview's about you, but listen, when I first started in radio, right, it was very tough. I had a radio gig that didn't pay.
Yeah.
I'm in a city that I've never been in, right, because I was doing the run, right, and I was I didn't know where my next meal was coming from, but I knew there was nothing for me when I got home. No one had to tell me because I already had seen it,
Yeah.
and lived it. But that's when you have to find that inspiration. That's where you have to dig the deepest. Am I wrong?
No, for sure. And I think it's the people that you end up working with that keep you in it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like getting into it was like this sense of community, just in theater alone. And then it sort of expanded as I started getting involved in the film side of things. I had friends who went to NYU for film, and they put me in their student films, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's the people you meet along the way that keep you inspired and they keep you in it.
By the way, Ray Fisher told someone in our men's room here at Power 106 that he's now a Power 106 intern.
We got microphones in there, man.
And you went with it, right?
I did go with it. I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
man. So as we're coming out, this is a gentleman who I'm new to the building, obviously. And he's like,
Right.
oh, what are you doing? Are you with Power 106? Are you with this other radio station? I said, oh, well, I'm interning for Power 106 right now. And he's like, all right, well, listen, man, you just keep at it.
That's
One
right,
day,
he gave you advice?
he gave me advice, and I was like, well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, that's nice,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's very
But
cool.
it's happened that way once before too. I was just
so?
in London promoting promoting Justice League out that way.
When you're out there, do you adapt the accent?
Just a touch.
Yeah, because a little just came out now.
Yeah. London and Justice League in that way. And we're at this bar. I'm hanging out with Jason Momoa and the crew, and there's a girl that comes up and she's like, "Oh my God, are you Trevor Noah?"
I was just gonna say, dude, are you aware that you look like Trevor Noah?
You know what I said? I said, "Yes, I am." And she comes up and she starts proceeding to tell me this whole story about, how she loves my stand-up from South Africa. And I go, "Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it." And it made it day.
And you're not offended. Like, you're not offended by none of that, right?
No.
Man.
I mean, people are just excited, and the fact that that somebody has the sort of wherewithal to say, "Look, I want to go and relay that appreciation." Yeah. I think it's a compliment.
At what point did you say, "Okay, this acting thing, I'm going all in"?
This was just about when I decided to do it.
Your chips out.
All the chips out. And I told my mom, I said, "Listen, I want to go to school and I want to be an actor." And she said, "Well, what are you going to do for money?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to act, duh. Like, of course. I'm like 19 years old at the time." Yeah. And she says, "Well, no, seriously, what are you going to do for money?" And I told her, I was like, "Mom, like, I'm already at this level. Like, I'm already broke. I got nowhere to go but up." So,
and when you're first starting out and you really want to do this, it's not about the money.
It's passion. It's passion. And there's nothing else I would rather spend my time doing.
Sure.
And if there ever was a thing that I would want to spend more time doing, I would go and do that.
Yeah.
Like, I had a life before this, I'm gonna have a life after this.
Yeah. By the way, your first feature film, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you.
That's progress. Let's all clap it up for that. Lecheto, thank you for being the only one. You're right, Lecheto. You're right. We all have to.
I got to clap it up, bro.
Hey, listen, first, but you know what? Hopefully not the last.
Yeah.
But if this is all I'm blessed to do, I'm glad I did it, man.
You got the right attitude, man. I'm sure there's more things coming. I promise.
Yeah, man. Are you? Do you have faith? You believe in faith? Are you a religious guy?
I mean, I was raised Baptist.
I was raised Scientology.
I was raised Baptist.
What is it, man?
I was raised Baptist. My mom is heavy in the church. All my family's heavy in the church. I'm finding my own way with that kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, my philosophy is just try to be as nice to people as you possibly can.
That's
and
it,
then
man.
That's everything else just comes from that.
Why do you think more people don't think that way?
I don't know. I feel like we live in a time where we're so focused on our own. We're so focused on just getting ours.
Right.
It ends up being it sort of that sort of births that idea.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you isolate yourself into a place with people with like minds, and if they're not thinking the things that are community based, then I can understand and I have empathy for the people who don't know any better.
Sure. Yeah. Along with being your first feature film, right? Justice League in theaters Friday. There's also toys with your image and all of that.
We got a couple right here.
That's crazy.
We do. I mean, it's a little wild.
Yeah, that's just cool, man.
I'm glad I can give something to my mom. I got my nephew was born about a year ago, and so he's missing. If he was like 5 or 6, he'd think it's really cool. So I'll have to tell him retroactively, "Hey, guess what I did like 5 years ago?" And he'll be like, "Oh yeah, whatever. That was whatever."
He'll be a bigger star then, and he'll see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Garcia, you're very excited. A lot of questions.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions, man. First of all, did you ever get caught on set staring at Gal? Because she's beautiful, man, and I know I'd be over there like flies flying in and out of my mouth. It'd be that wide open.
I mean, not just on the physical side. She's a beautiful person just in general. She's got that sort of personality that just draws everybody in.
Yeah.
It's just warm and inviting. It's just a beautiful person, inside and out.
Was your character written for you, or did you have to audition?
Audition for sure.
I mean, that's tough. Yeah,
it's tough. Audition is tough. But it's one of those things where, as an actor, you just have to let things go. Once you go in, you do it. You say, "Look, I tried it.
Yeah.
If they're gonna call me, they're gonna call me. If not, you can't just sit there and
you're in a room. You're by yourself, very vulnerable, right? Mm-hmm. You almost feel naked, right? And there's people there. Yeah. There's a camera. There's a guy always on his phone in the corner that's distracting you.
Well, if you're in a bad audition, there's always that guy.
That guy,
and that's the thing for this, because Zach and his crew, the way he runs his set, he it feels like you walked into a family.
What did you have to perform as an audition?
So for the actual audition, they had me send in a tape, and I think it was some sides from what was it? I think it was like We Are Marshall. I think it was that movie, because they don't actually give you stuff from the movie because it's everything's shrouded in secrecy.
They can't, sure.
Yeah.
So did you get the script early, or did you have to wait?
They were writing Justice League right after, as they were shooting Batman Superman. Mm-hmm. So when I booked the role, Zach put me in contact with Chris Terrio, our writer, and he was staying in New York at the time. I'm from New Jersey, and he's like, "Hey, listen, you guys should get together. You should start talking about the movie.
Yep.
I want Chris to get a feel for who you are as an individual." So he ended up tailoring things around who I am, which was very unique and special situation.
That's very cool.
I could not have asked for a better setup.
It gives you a little confidence, right?
It gave you a lot of confidence. It's in the fact that I got to know where things were going prior to it's a luxury that not many people get.
Yeah, but do they put a gun to your head and say, "Listen, if you say something, it's a wrap for you, homie"?
I mean, they don't got to put a gun to your head. They have you sign something that says, "Listen, we'll just sue you beyond belief." No gun necessary.
Can you get into character on command?
I mean, there's a little bit of a process for this character in particular because the body is so different. You know what I mean? Like when we were shooting the movie, I was 30 pounds heavier than I am today.
Nice.
So
all muscle though.
Hopefully.
Be honest. I'll stop.
But it's just a process. It depends on like what scene you're doing because the character's he's somewhere different mentally depending on where we're at in the script.
One audition, or did you have to audition multiple times because you have to show your range? Or
there was a tape, and then they had me come out and test in Detroit while they were shooting Batman Superman.
Was there a line that you just had to hit?
What do you mean specifically? I'm sorry.
During the audition, was there a line that you had to hit? Was there a phrase that you had to say on camera where you just had to land it?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think it was like that. I feel like it was. I feel like when they were doing the taping, they were just imagining what the cut twos are going to be, what they would look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think for me, it was just trying to show them, how grounded I could make that particular character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you cry on demand?
Give me like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
I can whip something up.
Where do you go? Where do you go?
Well, the thing is,
you
don't want to try. It's difficult because you talk to certain people and they say, look, you don't want to just overexhaust it. But if you're patched into something emotionally that means a lot to you, I think the tears don't come from just oh, woe is me, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad. It comes from getting into a place where the character actually wants something that they cannot have, and that's what brings it on.
He goes from Cyborg to Aquaman.
So
yeah.
So it's just that want, that desire, and it's just like anything else. We got situations in our lives like where you're super, super happy and just choked up because you can't express what that is.
I've been there.
It's about being in tune with yourself.
I was there the other day when I was talking about the weight loss. I was just so excited
right.
about it. I was excited for both of us, and I got a little emotional. But I'm an emotional person already.
And that's okay though. I mean, my thing is like I'm in tune with my emotions. I'm probably the most sensitive of my mom's 5 kids. You feel me?
So?
I'm second. Oh, for sure.
Do they make fun of you for that, or do they know that?
They used to, for sure. When I was younger, I
used to
cry about everything, man.
Does that mean you listen to Drake?
Do you Drake and drive?
It's okay, bro. I do the same thing.
That's fine. I mean, I listen to everything, man. Whatever gets you to where you need to be. A lot of Sade, just mellowing it out.
Okay.
Sade, I know. Man. Doesn't she make you feel like you're singing to her, guy?
Bro.
I mean, it's like she's singing to you directly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have an emoji, man. Congratulations. I know your mom is very proud of that as well. Your mom is very proud of the emoji.
That's how you made it, when you get an emoji. Now, after the movie's done, they might go back to a regular emoji, but I got it for right now. It's mine right now.
Yeah, it is yours right now, man. What's up, Garcia?
We live in a superhero movie age. That's what it's all about right now. It seems like all these comics, and I'm so glad that they did Justice League because growing up, that was such a big thing to me with cartoons. Any pressure at all? Like, because there's got to be a little bit of it, right? Because you don't want to let down all these people that looked up to this guy.
You don't want to let people down, but I also think there's so many different versions of the character. Sure. It's like you can't play one without somebody else saying, you know what? Well, I would have rather him been this way. I would have rather have seen him be a little bit more like this, So in trying to please everybody, you end up just giving like half versions of a solid character.
Sure.
For me, my thing was, look, if I serve the story as the character and just trust that where they're going with it is where it needs to be, we'll all win, because Zach has a very specific style, he has a very specific vision. Chris Terrio's just a smart guy. Being able to sit down in a room with him and discuss ideas,
and just create it on paper.
Create it, yeah.
Awesome,
talk about the philosophy behind everything. How all these people are living in half worlds. Cyborg's half man, half machine. Aquaman's half man, half Atlantean. Crazy. You've got Batman living half a life as Bruce Wayne Batman. Like seeing all those different things and putting it together and saying, wow, okay, there's a plan. Things make sense.
It's deeper than just superheroes.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah, because they all have backstories. A lot of people see Ben Affleck as the paparazzi Ben Affleck, right? Everyone's all in his personal life and everything else. But I've seen outtakes and stuff of him, on set, and he seems like a really, really, really fun guy.
Man, y'all gonna leave Ben Affleck alone.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, I know, because I feel like, man, the guy seems like a really cool, normal guy. How was the vibe on the set between you two specifically and just everyone in general? And did he teach you anything too? Because I mean,
you could learn.
The guy's got a resume now.
For sure. I think a lot of what I learned was just watching him. It's not something that you could verbalize. For me, I like just watching people's craft. So I'm going in and I'm watching everybody shoot, even on days I'm not shooting. I'm like, all right, I'll go and train in the gym, then I'll go watch what they're shooting that day. And I'm just watching on camera, seeing what he's doing physically in real life and translating that, you know. Everybody, because I'm the newcomer to it. This is my first movie. Let alone a movie at this level with this amount of CGI, this amount of everything. Budget, all that. Yeah. Everybody was super, super welcoming and they very, very insightful about the process. Everybody was willing to share their expertise. So, you know, I could talk to Jason about certain things and Ezra about certain things and Gull and Ben, just across the board. And even the technical side of things, because I worked very closely with the visual effects department. And I'm asking them everything. I'm like a kid in a candy store, like, well, what does this do? What does that do? Why does the camera move like this? Why do you got to go do these things? And they're just willing to help, you know, and that just trickles down from Zach's mentality, because it does feel like you walk onto that set and you feel like you're a part of it all. You feel like you're family.
Yeah. You know, if I was in your situation, I was walking onto the set, I would put so much pressure on myself, right? And I would have to tell myself something to, like, you know, get hyped for the role. I'd have to, like, prepare somehow. Yeah. Is there a process for you? Are you humming? Are you walking back and forth in your trailer? Do you have to call somebody? Is there a song you got to listen to?
I mean, I think going into it, knowing what we're shooting that day, figuring it out. I mean, it's much more of a piecemeal process. So if I know, we're shooting this reaction shot today, or we're shooting, you know, Cyborg on the football field today, like, there's a different process for where I'm at in those scenes. I don't think it was never the same, because this is a character that goes through, you know, one hell of a journey over the course of this film and over the future films as well. You know, so I took it day by day when it came to that kind of stuff, but I did feel super prepared because, you know, like I said, we had 3 years of lead up into it. Sure. Yeah.
You ever done, like, method acting?
No, I mean, for this character, because he's so specific, you know, I did spend, you know, a little bit of time alone. You know, one of his things is isolation, right? Yep. So, you know, he spent a year and a half, you know, completely by himself after his accident. So I would spend, like, periods of time where I was like, you know, well, let me see what it'd be like to you know, spend time alone and not talk to anybody for, you know, most of the day to day.
Wasn't that the best?
It was interesting. It was very interesting.
Isn't that the best? Doesn't it feel like a vacation?
Just going online, doing the cyberspace thing, you know, getting more in tune with technology myself, because, like, I grew up loving video games. I grew up, you know, with a certain amount of technology, but, you know, it's beyond for Cyborg. So being able to go and do research on, like, what exists out there in the world and what this character would actually know, you know, he has access to everything, man. You're dealing with a character who could shut down the electrical grids, who could literally erase all the student loan debt. You know what I mean? You can deal with a character who could, like, he could potentially take over the world if he wanted to become a bad guy. You know what I mean? Just because we're so heavily reliant on technology these days. So it was interesting to really explore mentally.
You were a Bernie guy during the presidential race.
I'm a Bernie guy.
Are you a Kanye 2020 guy?
I'm a Bernie 2020 guy. Even now, man, I really am.
He's like, man.
I mean, Bernie may get Kanye on the ticket as vice president, but
that'd be dope. That'd be dope. Justice League in theaters Friday, man. Ray Fisher's here, Cyborg, and we do have a Keep It 100 jar. Let's show you ready for the lightning round.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up my phone.
Let's pull it up.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Just some funny questions,
All
really
right.
quick. Nothing too crazy. You're safe here. All right, let's do it.
All right, ready. Give yourself a new superhero name.
Borg life.
Who would win in a race, a turtle or a tortoise?
Oh, a turtle.
If you could fight in any city for theatrical purposes, where would it be?
Wait, what in theatrical?
For theatrical purposes. I can't even say that word.
What was the beginning of the
You
question?
have to know the words in your question.
If you could fight in any city for theatrical purposes, where would it be?
Where did you copy and paste that from?
I was trying to use big words and it never works out, bro.
You know, let's go Chicago. I've never been there.
Favorite hip hop song?
Favorite hip hop song? Me Against the World.
If you were to break both arms, who would wipe your butt?
Oof.
Ben Affleck.
Butt white man? I don't know. He's gonna call a superhero up,
Right? Yo.
That was the channel's lightning round, and you've been struck by lightning. Beep, 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 beep. I had to do the remix for him.
I got it. Totally
Now that we're
got it.
getting personal, man. Who, in real life, who was your superhero, man?
In real life, my mom and my older brother, for sure. You know, my older brother's 10 years my senior, and growing up, you know, my pop wasn't around, and I grew up looking to him as a role model, for sure.
Yeah,
awesome.
What'd you learn from your brother, man?
I learned just how to be a nice guy, you know, and sometimes that's all you really need to know is how to treat people fairly, you know, and just go with life.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Keep It 100 jar. Where is that jar? That is the Keep It 100 jar. Garcia, what are the rules?
It's very simple. There are 3 questions in there, okay?
Okay.
If you choose not to, well, here's the thing. You get 1 pass. Okay, so 3 questions, 1 pass. You have to answer the other 2. If you do not, you have to put $100 in the jar.
He's looking at his people.
They're not bad. I
know
promise. They're
bad.
funny.
I'm just keep it 20.
No.
Keep it 20
Keep
jar.
it 5.
Keep it PG jar. Justice League, November 17th. Y'all better be there. We're about to keep it 100 for you. Okay,
here we go. Ray Fisher is here.
I can't fit my hand in the jar. I can't fit my hand in the jar. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Somebody's got a nice handwriting. Who wrote
it's
this?
Garcia. There
You lying, bro.
That's the first time someone has ever complimented your writing.
It's better than mine, man. Here we go. You have to pick one person to be your future kid's godfather. Would it be Jason Momoa or Ben Affleck? You know, I got to go with Jason on this one.
Why?
I got to go with Jason because I got to spend a little bit more time with Jason for sure, and he would teach them how to be savages.
Okay.
You gotta go.
Go ahead. Let's
go.
keep
Here we
going.
go.
See, he thought he was done.
Yeah, I know.
You got
gotta
two
keep
more
it 100.
questions, bro.
Here we go.
Dun, 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 dun. Cyborg.
What prop did you steal from the set?
Yeah, you know you did. You know you did.
I would have. Shit, you coming home with me?
What was it? What was
listen.
it? Listen, when I go to Chipotle, I take all the forks.
Look, I take the napkins for Chipotle.
My
You
guy.
never know.
My
You
guy.
never know. You might need some in your car, blow your nose, whatever.
For real. Yeah, I hate blowing my nose into a receipt, so I gotta have them. You know what I'm saying?
So what I've got is the Gotham City University Letterman jacket that I
Okay.
wore on my first day of shooting, the one with the leather sleeves and all that.
Yeah,
They ended
man.
up giving us one as a cast wrap gift, but it had like these like velvet sleeves, something
Very
like
nice.
that.
So what'd you put
For
in your
this-
pockets?
That was
was
about
it?
it. That was about it. Yeah. That's all I wanted. I was like, you know what? This is my first day of shooting on set on this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
You know, you saw it in the trailer, that whole thing, and I was like, this is, you know, they made it for me.
Yeah, man. Is that it?
No, you got one
Oh,
more.
you got one more. Look
All
at
right,
you.
Here we go. Here we go.
Pass if he needs it.
And then we'll let you out of here. We know you're very busy, man.
No. I'm here.
You have
let's
one
see.
pass, remember.
Justice League member that had the worst BO on set. This one I got to pass.
There he
on.
It gets hot. Listen, it gets hot on set. There's lights, there's cameras,
Listen, we
there's
all,
suits.
at the end of the day, we were all funky.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing.
Listen, they say every man has a shitty day. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
well,
saying?
look, and I mean, I'm in the most comfortable costume possible because I'm just in the onesie. I'm in like the CGI onesie pajamas. Everybody else is sweating. We got the cold packs on. So
Yeah,
by the time
man.
we got done, it depended on what we're shooting that day. We're all funky.
Sure, man.
Yeah.
Is there any pressure from fans that know about this character, probably more than you do, and now you have to represent this character that they love so much?
Well, I think not so much because, you know, my job as the actor is to tell the story within the confines of the script that we have.
Right.
You know, so at the end of the day, you know, I want fans to know, listen, I'm giving it my all. You know, I care about the character just as much as anybody else. And I
Right.
don't want anybody to feel like just because you haven't read every Cyborg comic means you have more ownership of the character than somebody who just genuinely loves it.
Sure,
you know,
sure,
so,
sure.
You know, that's all I would have to say to that.
You know, Americans, we're fans. We go crazy, but when you go to Beijing,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, Beijing
Right?
was
You're-
Beijing was dope.
You're rock star out
Beijing
there.
was dope, man. And you know what's crazy? I feel like the themes of these characters, it's
Sure.
universal. You know what I mean? Like it's that same kind of energy that you'd feel at San Diego Comic-Con. It's the same kind of energy you'd feel anywhere else. You know, it's just something about these characters, something about this genre just brings something out of us. You know, I just hope that people can keep in mind that, you know, that there are other things in life as well. You know, it's one of those things you don't want to get yourself so wrapped up in it that you can't see anything else.
Right,
Because in that
right.
passion, it's like sports. You know what I mean? Like people are like,
Sure.
oh, well, this is my superhero. This person could beat that person. And sometimes we do get a little polarizing when it comes to
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, what these characters represent, love, justice, trying to aspire to a higher
I think
ideal.
it's art as well. I think it
And
represents art.
It
Yeah,
absolutely
man.
does. And It's
Yeah.
all relative. It's all subjective. Yeah.
Well, I love your show on Comedy Central, The Daily Show,
Oh,
Trevor.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
Justice League in theaters Friday. Ray Fisher, my guy. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Borg Live.
Yeah, now he's got to go because he's got to answer phones. He's an intern now, so
Peace, bro.
And I like my coffee double cup.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
No mayonnaise on
Just
my
make sure I'm
sandwich.
paid intern. Make sure I'm paid intern.
That does not exist.
Okay, well, all right.
It's the Cruz Show, Power 106. My guy, thank you very much,
thank
man.